This video is brought to you by the University Writing Center, a unit of the Department of Rhetoric and Writing at the University of Texas at Austin. You can contact us at uwc.utexas.edu.
Hello, my name is Erin, and I am going to talk about a lack of concision, using a couple of examples of my own writing, as well as an example from a published piece of writing. I am going to talk about what a lack of concision is, how it can muddy your meaning, and a couple of things you might do to achieve more concision in your writing. So one thing that a lack of concision can mean is just general wordiness. So the example we have here is the first 8 lines of the sonnet sustain a descriptive account. Highlighted a couple of areas we might focus in on here. So we've got a preposition or two, we've got a couple of articles, and we also have a long verb phrase that includes some descriptive language that we just don't really need. You can say the same thing effectively with the sonnet's first 8 lines describe. It's a lot more direct, it's simple, and it's easy to follow. Again, simple subject, verb, object structure. And we don't have these little filler words in there to drag things out. A lack of concision can also mean trying to do too much in a single sentence and/or lengthy sentences. So in this example, if erotic and spiritual union mark the becoming of identity, according with temporal regimes such as the consummation, development, or identity narratives of capitalist society, disunion signals the unbecoming of identity and a break with chrononormativity. So I've highlighted different groups of concepts that are at work in this sentence, and there's a lot of them. And not only is there a lot of them, but they're complicated theoretical concepts. And it's very hard to kind of untangle everything that's going on here. And it's hard for the reader to know what information they really need to prioritize here. So this might be a sentence that we would want to just break up so that you can really take your time to explain everything, as well as the connections between the individual pieces here. The sentence is also a good example of a long introductory clause. So as you can see here, the introductory clause actually takes up most of the sentence. And what that does is it buries the subject and the verb of the sentence. So the reader has to sift through a lot of information until they get to what is actually the main point of the sentence. Another example of this is the following. Both Marxist analysis, particularly its historical and materialist method, and feminist analysis, especially the identification of patriarchy as a social and historical structure, must be drawn upon if we are to understand the development of Western capitalist societies and the predicament of women within them. So again, we have the main subject and verb coming very late in the sentence. And so we have to sift through a lot of information before we really get to what the authors are trying to do with this sentence. So how do you revise this? The most direct way to put it is really just move the subject and the verb earlier. So one way to revise this sentence would be to take that subject of we, the authors, the scholars, and must draw upon our main verb that we had in the previous sentence, and follow the similar kind of structure as they did originally. We must draw upon both Marxist historical and materialist method and feminist identification of patriarchy as a social and historical structure if we are to understand Western capitalist society's development and women's predicament within them. So that's one way to revise this sentence. Another way that you could revise this sentence that puts a little bit more emphasis on the methodologies and what they can do for us is making the subject of the sentence actually Marxist and feminist analysis. So here we have Marxist and feminist analysis can help us understand Western capitalist society's development and women's predicament within them through using historical and materialist methods and identifying patriarchy as a social and historical structure. So what this sentence does is it really highlights, again, the methodologies and what they can do for us. And then we put the explanatory information at the end of the sentence so that it's not hiding the things that the authors are really trying to communicate here. So that's a quick look at Concision. I hope this was helpful, and I will look forward to seeing you in the Writing Center sometime soon. Bye.